Hey, what's up you guys? So today I'm just used a snow day for good and actually filmed a tutorial for you guys. I had a couple people request for me to do some sort of like technique video where I can show how I do certain things. This is the look that I did today. Just a couple disclaimers before you go ham on me. A, I'm not a YouTuber. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I'm planning to do. So don't judge me. I'm not trying to go that hard. I was just, having fun. B, my lighting is horrible. Looking back at the footage, I now see how shitty everything is. So I apologize. It looks way better in real life, IRL as fuck. And C, I am not a makeup artist. This is not what I do professionally. So of course, my techniques might not be the right way to do it, but it's my technique for a reason, bitch. Like, if you don't want to see my techniques, then back the fuck up. You don't have to watch the video. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. But yeah, so if somehow in a weird way you like this video, leave it a like so that I know that I'm doing something right. If you want to see any future looks that I've done on my Instagram or that you want me to do in the future, I have a shit ton of glitter, so just try me. Alrighty then, so the first thing I want to do is moisturize. Everybody has dry ass skin. I personally have dry as fuck skin, so I definitely need to moisturize. So take whatever moisturizer that you want to use. I'm just using some fucking Nivea men shit. I don't know, just fucking do anything at this point. Whatever is good for your skin and that you know is not gonna break you out. I have very sensitive ass skin, so everything breaks me out. I mean, all those fucking like YouTubers will be like, oh, just tap it in. Fuck that. We're all getting old. Who gives a fuck? And then most importantly, what a lot of bitches forget is that while you're doing your face, especially when it's cold weather outside, put some chapstick on, bitch. You don't want to be crusty. Shit ain't cute. Okay, so I've already went ahead and did my eyebrows. It's just way too complicated, way too much time. I mean, my shits are hella uneven, so it takes forever for me to get them straight. So I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow. If you guys really want me to do a full-blown eyebrow tutorial, just let me know. I mean, I have really like shitty eyebrows, so I don't know why you would want me to, but just in case. So what I do is I take this Milani Conceal Foundation and I put this on my eyelids. This is actually the exact same foundation I use to clean up my eyebrows with. It's not my shade of skin, it's a little bit lighter, but that's a good thing, don't worry. So then you just want to pat it on the eyes with any brush, really. It doesn't really matter. I'm just using this angled brush because it's what I use to line my eyebrows with. So I have two booty blenders. I have a really small one and I have a fat one. And basically the small one is going to be for my eyelids, you're about to see in a second. And basically I just use that to pat this on my lid. And then something that I always bitch about on Instagram, well, I have bitched about on Instagram, is my eyes creasing after like literally hours, which basically just means that your eyeshadow just gets, your eyelids get really greasy and you see like the crease right there. So one thing I've learned to combat that is I take a translucent powder and pat that on my eyelids. I use the Airspun translucent powder. It's just my favorite. It's super fucking cheap. It's like $5 at Walmart. Just take a damp beauty blender, make sure it's not wet, but it's just damp, and then just dip it into this, tap off the excess, and just pat that bitch right on your eyelid and just kind of literally get it in there. This is gonna give you a good base for every eyeshadow look possible, and it's gonna make your shit last all day. You can buy these little bad boys like at Ulta or literally fucking anywhere. I think my husband got these for me on eBay for hella cheap. And these are just really good for getting in the inner corner, like especially if you want to get down there. So now that your eyelids are primed and you're looking like fucking a hot mess, it's time to go in with eyeshadow. I don't have 1,000 brushes for eyeshadows. Like, I just don't find them really necessary. I'm like the cheapest bitch you'll motherfucking meet when it comes to makeup. I don't like to spend a lot of money on makeup because a bitch got rent to pay. I mean, shit. So these are my 3 favorite brushes, and basically there's like a fluffy angled brush, there's like just a regular fluffy circle brush, and then there's like a stiff circled one, and that's just basically to get on my inner corners. So I have this palette from like eBay from literally 3 years ago. Once again, cheap bitch, nothing changes. So first thing I've learned about eyeshadow to make it look like it's just fucking blending perfectly to get you a transition shade, which is always like a nudish orangish tone, which is always this one for me. Obviously I've hit pan on this bitch, so then I just take that color and just swish it around, tap off the excess, and just go into the outer corner with it. And then just, if you want to get really precise, you just kind of like pat it in there and then blend it upwards. The trick to getting a flawless eyeshadow look, honestly, is probably just blending. Blending until your fucking arms are sore and you can't even go anymore, but shit, that Instagram pic gonna be popping. And then when you get up to the brow, make sure you don't take it all the way up. Don't be that bitch who fucking has like purple on their fucking brow. Like, that shit really ain't cute. I really don't know how you makeup artists get away with that shit. Like, I see you, bitch. I see you on Instagram. I see it. So now that you have your transition shade in there, it's time to work another shade. Usually I take a shade a little bit closer to my transition shade. This is just for like my everyday look. I like to go for something kind of natural. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna take this reddish orange color right here, and it has like, it's a little bit of shimmer in it, so it's hella cute. And then just tap it off and just go right in that inner corner, like right below where you just put that transition shade. But in a minute, once you start blending, you're going to mix it with the transition shade. One issue I always run into when I use my cheaper eyeshadows is that it's not as pigmented as I wanted it to be. So one trick I've recently learned, if it's not as highly pigmented as you want it to be, what I like to do is I get a spray bottle. This is just some random ass setting spray, but it's gone now. So what I did is I mixed water, 2 drops of body oil, and a little bit of this NYX setting spray into it. And basically I just use this for my brushes, and then you just put a little mist on your brush and then go back in with that color, and then you'll see. Bitch. No voice, wow. And remember, don't blend everywhere. Like, you want to stay in your little confined area, because if you do, then you're just gonna have your colors running all over the place, and you want it to transition. So there's certain parts of that transition color I haven't even touched or grabbed into, so just keep it that way. So I'm gonna go on with this NYX Punk Heart color with this little small stiff brush. Grab it on in. Thankfully this is one of those that you don't fucking need to spray the brush for, because NYX, they fucking got their formula right. And then I just kind of like to tap it and work it up. But you see how I'm not moving it everywhere? I'm just working that bitch upward. And just tap it and tap it. Make sure you're not dragging it, because you don't want it to look like it's just fucking all over the place. And then you want to take that blending brush again and just lightly put it on there. Not too much, because now you want to blend it. But you see how I'm still not blending, I'm just tapping and then just working it upwards in a circular motion. And then if you feel like it's still too harsh, I just go back in and blend it with this on the outside only. Alrighty then. So now you want to go, so you always want to go like a light shade, then a dark shade, and then a lighter shade on the inside. So what I like to use is my Studio Highlight palette. Shout out to Rosario for this shit. I want to spray this small flat brush with a little bit of that spritz again, and then I'm gonna take this white color and just tap it in there. And because this is a highlight, I do like to bring it all the way into the inner corner. So I wait for my lower lash line after I do my foundation. Obviously I don't want to cover it up with foundation. So the very next thing, I honestly don't always go and do eyeliner, but if I do, it's just a special occasion. Just mainly because I just don't got time for that shit. I use the Master Graphics by Maybelline. It's a pencil that has kind of like a little shit. It looks like a Sharpie almost. It just is so much easier to me compared to all the other ones. So the trick to doing your eyeliner like this is pretty much just to work your way in bits. Like, don't rush it. Don't do one fluid line. Like, it's just not gonna work. You have to make sure you have one prominent line. So you just, the way I do it is just little dots, and then I just connect the dots at the end. I like to tight line my eyes, which just basically means that I get as close to the lash line as possible, because if I do that big extravagant, it makes my eyes look sleepy, and I don't need my boss to know I'm more sleepy than I already am. So before we do our wing, if you're gonna do your eyeliner, don't half-ass it. Get you a black eyeline pencil and line the waterline under it, so that way it looks, you don't have like your skin peeking through. And done. So next is foundation. I personally use the Fit Me foundation. There's two different kind of foundations that you can use. There's a dewy finish and there's a matte finish. There might be more. That's the ones I don't fucking care about. Matte finish is more if you want the perfect doll look. I'm just kind of going for a natural, neutral look. So then I take that dewy finish and just get a little bit on palette. Now I take my beauty blender and just dip it in there. And then I like to do a dot method just to give me the perfect amount of coverage. So I do 1, 2, 3 dots, 1, 2, 3 dots, go back in, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, and then 2. Basically, this gives me the perfect amount of coverage. The rest of this is gonna go for my neck and just like any spots that I may have missed. And now you just blend. Now, I personally do not have very prominent dark circles, so I don't really use concealer that much. I like to go in with that same conceal slash foundation that I have. It's like a concealer foundation mix. It's a little bit lighter than my skin, so it's not too light, and it also blends in seamlessly with my regular foundation. And then now you just blend. And if you find you're not getting into those cracks that much, grab your small beauty blender and kind of go in with that. I also like to add that that is a matte finish foundation, and the reason why I like to go in with my concealer areas with my matte finish is because of the fact that my T-zone can be quite oily, so a matte finish actually kind of helps that. Now, baking. I personally don't like to bake, in my opinion. I just like to put it on there. Just to give me that, you know, more of a conceal, I guess you can say. So I just go into my air spun with the beauty blender and then just pat it on my lower line, but then I just immediately blend it in. I honestly just don't like to bake per se. I don't feel like I have that many prominent dark circles. If you do, I recommend you bake a little bit longer. I'll actually show you an example of baking. This is just what I always, if I do decide to bake, I always just go in with one layer and then I take a big ass clump and then just kind of set it under the eyes like that. And then take this side and then just set it under the eyes like that. And then with the excess, I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I normally do, which is get my nose, my chin, and my cupid's bubble and just go ahead and blend it in immediately. And then some even like to do their jawline. And then like I said, I immediately blend mine in. And then when you bake, you need to take like a big beauty blender, a big brush, and when you're done, just kind of take it off. The reason why you want to get translucent powder is because it doesn't have any color tint to it. That way, if you're packing it on there to your regular foundation tint, it's not going to change your look. It's not going to make it look like the areas you put it in are any different, really. It's just a little bit of a white overcast, so it's kind of like a concealer at the same time. Just in my opinion, I could be wrong. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a makeup artist. It's not what I do. This is just how I do my shit. So I even go back in with that conceal foundation and then just slay these wings. Okay, so now we want to go from looking like a potato to a contoured potato. So we're gonna go in. I personally don't use any like contour shades. I actually dead ass just use bronzer. This bronzer is really cool because it has kind of like a shimmery base, I guess, with a really fat fluffy brush. And then make sure you just dot it in there to give you like a line, pimples, and then most importantly your chin. And then now take whatever's left on the brush and just blend out your cheeks. And then you want to work in a 3 motion. And then I like to snatch my nose. And then just work it upwards. So now let's go focus back more on our eyes. We want to take that flat, stiff brush, spray it. Go back in with that blood orange color and go on your lower lash line. And then you take your NYX shade again, and you want to be very, very light-handed with this because you do not want to give yourself too much of a shadow under your eyes. So I like to work literally on the lash line with this, and just to bring the look full circle, take a little bit of that highlight again and just tap it on my inner corner. Now go ahead and do your eyelashes. I like to use these Scandal Eyes by Rimmel London. The best way to do mascara is not to just go upwards like that. You want to make sure that you're getting as close to the lash line as possible and shimmy it. Don't be afraid to grab your finger and spread the lashes however you like. And I deadass lost my curler, so I would have curled my lashes, but I don't give a fuck anymore. Now it's time to do the lower lash line, but this is just too scandalous for the lower lash line. So I just go with a really cheap ass LA Color one. So now what I use for highlighter is this luminizer, and basically the pump itself just gives out too much product, and I'm not into that whole highlight craze right yet. So I just take the very end of it and just put dots. Now the thing about this highlighter is you kind of want to make sure you have very clean hands, and that you are going in with just any finger, but just make sure it's kind of warm. That way the product can just really spread evenly, and just work it downwards and upwards. Don't forget your nose, the bridge, and then the top of your Cupid's bow, which is my most important part. And then once I'm done with that, I want to go back in with my Studio Highlight palette. Just take this goldish color, and I want to run that right back through all those spots I just hit. Alright, so if you ever have a lip color that you don't like, never fear. Lip liners are going to be the best thing you'll ever fucking find out about. For instance, I have this ColourPop lipstick that I really, really love. The formula on, like, it matched dry perfectly. It's just everything about it is life, but it's too light. Like, it's just way too fucking light for my skin. It looks probably better there than it does in real life, so just a disclaimer. When it goes on my lip, I don't like for it to look too light, so I go in with a very dark, almost burgundy color, and just line my lips with it. And now it's time for this. You just put that on your lips. See how light that shit is? And work it around. And if you don't want to go for this ombre shade, just take your pinky and just kind of mix it in with the regular color. And then I just kind of go over, just like with the eyebrows, just when you're framing them, you just frame your lips. Now your bottom lips looks fucking slayed. And that's it. I mean, you can do crazier colors, you can do less crazier colors. The reason why I do so many crazy eyeshadows is because when I put these bad boys on, it just kind of mutes everything, especially on my eyes. So I want to make sure that my eyes and my lips look perfect because of the fact that my eyeglasses are going to cover them up. Once again, I am not a YouTuber, so this ain't my profession. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not a makeup artist. This is just how I do my makeup. It's probably fucked up. You're probably cringing the entire time, but shit, some of you requested it, so whatever. I'm gonna make all two of you happy. Bye.